by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Fields launching to the end zone again. Jump ball. That's Garrett Wilson. Touchdown. It's a bounce, but not the kangaroo hop they were looking for, and that was a very easy recovery.
Here's Harvey. All alone. Touchdown, Broncos.
Jones down the sideline, one-on-one. Oh, what a catch! Adonai Mitchell down the sideline, turning on the speed, and a little stiff arm ushering into the end zone for a Colts touchdown. But did he lose the ball going out of the end zone before he crossed the goal line?
Football? I think it may have come out early.
He sticks it out, and it slips out of his hand. Unbelievable.
Happy Tuesday, folks. Welcome into Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this fine program. Landon Winkler is over in the corner. He's running the cameras. He's keeping the video stream online. Big thanks to our ops manager, Becca. She was in charge of those duties yesterday. Landon, it was his birthday yesterday, and he took the day off, a well-deserved day off, and he's back today. He's a trooper, but wanted to go and celebrate. He's a newlywed, so he certainly has the right to do that. Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities, supporting student, community, and employee needs. As we do to lead off the show every day, it's time for your sounds of the past 24 hours. The Jets fell to the Dolphins on Monday Night Football 27-21. The Jets scored on a pass to Garrett Wilson and were successful on a subsequent 2-point conversion to make it a 6-point game, but they were unable to recover the onside kick. The Dolphins ran out the clock. I believe there was one entire second left when the Jets offense retook the field. They tried the laterals. It didn't work. Wasn't great, but a really, really fun game. One of two Monday night games. Darren Waller caught 2 touchdown passes in his first appearance in an NFL game in nearly 2 years. That man walked off the field. He retired. And then came back with the Dolphins, and then caught 2 touchdown passes in his first game with the Dolphins last night. Crazy what some athletes are capable of. In the game, wide receiver Tyreek Hill dislocated his knee. He will now be out for the rest of the year. Do yourself a favor and do not look up that video. It is pretty wild. He seemed to be at least conscious afterwards, maybe in shock, or maybe he's just that happy that he doesn't have to play with Tua Tagovailoa anymore. I expect Tyreek Hill to be in a different uniform next year, but he's certainly a talented player, kind of getting up there. I think he's on the wrong side of 30 now, but, I mean, speed like no one's ever seen before. Heck, most of the people watching this are probably Chiefs fans. You all know. Tyreek Hill, insanely good player. Dislocated knee, he'll be out for the rest of the year. Other Monday Night Football, the Denver Broncos beat the Cincinnati Bengals 28-3 last night. Bo Nix threw for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, while the Bengals posted less than 200 total yards of offense and were blown out for the second game in a row since the injury to Joe Burrow. The Bengals are hapless. They are really bad. They weren't very good to begin with, and then they lost Joe Burrow, who's, a generational quarterback, can cover up a lot of ills. But, boy, Jake Browning, I don't even think Jake Browning's that bad of a quarterback. I just think that team around him is not very good outside of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. And you got so much money going to those 3 guys. I don't know what you do. Their offensive line certainly isn't good enough. Their defense is just atrocious outside of 1 or 2 players. So I don't know. I think it's a bad way for the Bengals to be right now. And I expect it to not get much better because Joe Burrow is going to be out for a while. And your last sound of the past 24 hours, let's fudge that in kind of the last 48 hours. I wanted to talk about this yesterday. We just didn't really have enough time. But the Colts' Adonai Mitchell had the most impressive play of the day, nearly scoring an acrobatic 76-yard touchdown before he celebrated the touchdown too early, lost control of the football, and fumbled it through the back of the end zone. The Colts would go on to lose that game 27-20. There's not a whole lot more embarrassing than celebrating too early and losing because of it, losing the score and then losing the game. I mean, this is a one-possession game. They lost this game because of what Adonai Mitchell did, which, again, the most impressive play on Sunday by far, I think, of any NFL game. And that catch and run was just astounding. But he celebrates too early and lost control of the ball. And I'm not against celebrating. I think celebrating is fine if you want to be a guy who dances his way into the end zone. I've got zero problem with it. Do you know how hard it is to score a touchdown in the NFL? If you want to celebrate scoring that touchdown, I don't think that's a bad thing. But boy, when you do something like this, you open yourself up to just an incredible amount of ridicule and backlash and people calling you the dumbest person on the planet. And this week it's well-deserved. Adonai Mitchell, I don't know, man. Stronger gloves, work on that grip strength. Got to be a way to avoid that, or just wait until you're in the end zone to celebrate. Could also handle that way. Sports Day today is brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group out on 10th Street here in Great Bend. Also brought to you by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's over on 10th Street. Also by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Community College athletic programs the best in the country. We've got an excellent show for you today. I'm really excited for today. First up, we've got Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. He joins us as he does every Tuesday. After that, Great Bend High School cross-country coach Lyles Lashley joined me for a conversation over the phone. And then after that, we will have an interview with Great Bend High School girls tennis coach Zachary Bartle. He joined us in the studio earlier today. We'll play that interview for you. So a loaded show today. So we've got to get to our first break. We're back in just a little bit. We'll play that interview with Wyatt Thompson, again, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, for our Tuesday conversation. You're listening to Sports Day, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmy's, make it happen.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor. And don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the Rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry now joined, as we are every Tuesday, by the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, Mr. Wyatt Thompson. Wyatt, thanks so much for taking the time. How are things in Manhattan?
They are good, man. After a big victory on Saturday against UCF, people are starting to feel a little bit better. It wasn't perfect, but, boy, a much-needed victory, and I'm glad they got it. It was certainly better and a step forward.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about those steps forward. I start with the quarterback position. This felt to me like the best game that Avery Johnson has played this season, and he got some help, I think, as well.
He did, and Dylan Edwards, having him back makes such a big difference with this football team. I think that's what everybody has been waiting to see. I think you had a couple of things happen early. If you remember early in the game, there was a quarterback run of several yards that I think got Avery off the deck and got him some confidence. And then Dylan Edwards had 166 yards. K-State played with some emotion. They did give up some shot plays in the second half, and they've got to clean that up if they're going to continue to, try to win games in the Big 12. But the push of the offensive line, just the emotion and the toughness, the physicality and the excitement that they played with was certainly kind of what people around here are used to seeing, and that was good to see.
I'm glad you brought up Dylan Edwards because I want to focus on him. Like you said, over 160 yards rushing, had an explosive run for a touchdown in this game, and really it feels like when he's in the lineup, this Kansas State team is a completely different unit.
Yeah, because he can do so many things, Brant, right? I mean, he's got electric speed and moves. He's a better inside runner because of his size than most people really understand. But on the edge, he's just amazingly good. He can catch the ball. I mean, he just makes K-State look different. I don't know how else to say it. There's just a comfort level with him on the field where you've got some threats out there. The thing that's impressive is what K-State did really without. I mean, you have Dylan, that helps. You have Avery, that helps certainly. But Tibbs also probably isn't getting enough run. And I say that based on the fact that Jace Brown tried to go and could not, bothered by his foot, had a streak of 25 games in a row with at least one catch broken because of, setting on the sideline. But because he was out and you still saw that type of production, I was impressed with that.
We heard Coach Kleiman talking last week about how they were going to make some moves along the lines of scrimmage specifically. Spoke after this game about how those moves went. It kind of helped Kansas State kind of get back to what it's known for in playing physically and running the ball well. So talk a little bit about what the moves that Kansas State made on that offensive line and how you think they performed Saturday.
Well, a couple of guys I think need to be pointed to here. I think Coach felt like Taylor Portier, the left guard, probably played his best game of the season. You could also make that argument for center Sam Hecht, who's really a pretty darn good football player. Then the other guy that he talked about, and this was really important, I think, because Devin Bass has not been a guy that a lot of people have talked about, but he has really, really good size and athleticism. He's starting to kind of figure some things out. He's strong enough to be in these types of games now, and he helped in that rotation at both guard spots. I thought that was a really big deal. And then Coach also pointed out, Gus Hawkins played maybe his best game. So you put all of that together, and you kind of see, why K-State ran for over 200 yards and scored 34 points in the game. It was good.
Talk a little bit about the defense. I just feel like both sides of the ball, the line of scrimmage got back to what we're used to seeing from Kansas State. It's interesting, on this show yesterday, I had a conversation where we talked a little bit about K-State, and I compared Kansas State to my alma mater, Auburn University, and I feel like the two football programs are very similar and that their identities are playing well on the line of scrimmage and running the football. And on the defensive side specifically, I feel like K-State really got back to that identity.
I think so, too, to be honest. I really was impressed. Like I said before, they gave up a long pass right there before halftime, probably took a little bit of momentum away. And there were a couple of other plays where they just kind of lost contain, and you got to get that cleaned up. But aside from that, and I know it all counts, I get it, but I really thought their effort, their tackling, their physicality, and then I'll throw this one out there too. I thought this was going to be a kind of a subtle move, and not a lot of people would think that much of it. But I thought it was pretty significant when they moved. They basically switched VJ Payne and Wesley Fair and got Wesley a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. I thought that benefited K-State. I thought it benefited both guys. And then Gus Maldonado, too. I just love that kid, transfer from Arizona. Really the first time since he's been here that he was been totally healthy, and that also helped. I think defensively it wasn't perfect, as I said before, but I think it was a step forward without a doubt.
You mentioned the health of the defense. That's something that we've talked about a lot, is how K-State just doesn't have enough bodies or hasn't had enough bodies. Feels like in this game you were able to rotate specifically in that linebacking core and along the defensive line again. How much did the health help this team in this win?
Well, I think a lot because, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, Stufflebean played really good. He didn't have a ton of stats, but he's the guy that put the big hit on Taven Jackson that forced him out of the game for a pretty good portion of the game. I think from the linebacking perspective, those front two guys are pretty good, but it so helps to have Asa Newsom back and pretty healthy now, as one example. There are others. I'm so impressed with freshman Logan Bartley as a safety and just his toughness and how smart he is at such a young age. So you can probably pick a lot of different guys and talk about them, but just in total, lots of guys got in the game, and I thought played one of their better games, honestly.
All right, so now you've got a little momentum. You have the win in the Big 12. This is at the very least a good UCF team. How do you build on this moving forward if you're Kansas State?
Well, I think what you do is you take what you did well and try to transition that on the trip to Waco. And so that means what? Well, you threw it pretty well. You ran it pretty well. You defended pretty well. None of it perfect, but good. You were definitely better in special teams. This kind of has gone overlooked too, but Luis Rodriguez has kicked the ball really well. And Simon McClannon all of a sudden is just bombing the ball on punts. He's been real good all year on kickoffs for the most part. And the return guys have been pretty good. Now, they did lose Bryce Normberg in that game. Not sure how available he will be this week, but there are other candidates back there, Devon Rice and others. So I think that'll be okay. But this is a different challenge. In addition to being on the road, Baylor's a big, tough physical team, and offensively, they're pretty high level, man. They've been over 600 yards a couple of different times. High-level quarterback, good receivers, but they run the ball. I think that's going to be the key. Can K-State get their run game slowed down some, which puts a little more pressure on Sawyer Robertson? You can do that. I think we're in for a game. We'll see.
Yeah, I think you're right. This is a Baylor offense that, like you said, very high level, but their defense, to me, Wyatt, and this is just me watching as a fan of the sport, I think their defense has some vulnerabilities, and if Kansas State wants to run the football, I feel like they have an opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and that's pretty astute on your part because, and in fairness to Baylor, they didn't know what they were going to see with the coaching change in Stillwater, but they gave up over 400 yards. That's quite a bit to a team that had been struggling, right? But again, you got to keep it into its proper perspective. But I'll say this: if K-State can put together a 400-yard offensive game, I think you're going to see a really good football game on Saturday, a tight game that could go either way. If they don't, then it kind of gets back to, the regular stuff like, do you play a clean game? Will a turnover decide it? A shock play, something like that, because we all know in this league there are a lot of one-score games, and this one could be too. We'll see.
Wyatt, let's take a step back here. We're not quite halfway through the season, but still a couple of games under the belt. Look around the Big 12 and tell me what you see so far.
Well, I think you have to start with Tech. They've just been so darn impressive with their physicality and toughness and their depth. And I'm talking about both sides of the ball. I've heard a lot of people say that, can you win the league with a quarterback like Behren Morton? Why can't you when you have that kind of help around him? I don't know that he's as good as Sawyer Robertson or somebody like that, but the guy wins games, and I think they're really good. The other team that continues to win games, they may be close games, but they're winning them, is Arizona State, right? Even without Cam Skattebo, they're pretty good. To me, that's where you look at the top of the league. I'm still not ready to count out Utah. I mean, they pummeled West Virginia and Morgantown after getting beat at home by Tech. That impressed me. There are other teams that, I've said all along that K-State and Baylor have Kansas. You can throw several teams in there. You know who nobody's talked about at all until Saturday was Cincinnati. How about them winning in Lawrence?
Oh, my gosh.
How impressive was that? Welcome to the 12, buddy.
Yeah, that game really impressive. I think that K-State and KU is shaping up to be a really fun game this year after this win by K-State.
Yeah, I think that's accurate because it isn't like KU played poorly offensively. Jalen Daniels was really good and still lost late. Thorsby's improved. They have some receivers. They've got a good running back at Cincinnati. I think everybody just wrote them off because they lost to Nebraska early at Arrowhead. But they've improved. And we haven't talked about BYU. They're better. I shouldn't say they're better. That's probably a little unfair, taking it too far. But it's hard to win in Boulder, and they did that. And they're winning with a freshman quarterback, and you're not supposed to do that. But I think their defense is rugged and tough and physical. And we didn't mention Iowa State. It just goes on and on, right?
Never gets any easier in major college football. Wyatt, thanks so much for the time today, man.
Absolutely, but good talking to you.
Yes, sir. He is Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, joining us here on Sports Day. Always enjoy talking to Wyatt Thompson, always generous with his time, and I say it every time that we talk to him every Tuesday. He is the nicest dude in the world, and a little bit more of a spring in the step, in his voice, and I think indicative of the step in Manhattan, beating that UCF team. This isn't the best UCF team ever, but they have a capable head coach. They are a team. That's a conference win. That is a win in the conference, and the Big 12 is a place where some really, really wild stuff happens. And for them to get that win, I don't know. It's a potential season changer, a win coming off the bye week against a conference opponent when you started slow. And Baylor this weekend, look, you heard me and Wyatt talking about it there. Baylor's offense is extremely talented. They can run the ball. They've got a really good quarterback. They are a threat to put up 40 points, 500 yards of offense. They can absolutely do that. Their defense is suspect. Their defense will get run on. In a heartbeat, you can run the ball on Baylor's defense. Seeing it firsthand. They don't play very well in the front seven. If they don't load the box, then they really can't defend the run very well. And then if you try to load the box against K-State, they've got talented receivers out there too. It'll be an interesting game to say the least. And I don't know. I don't think K-State's going to compete for the Big 12 in the long run this year. I think they're a little bit too far behind the 8 ball, but it's possible. Sports Day today is brought to you by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, their knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your home decor and budget. Visit the Great Bend Showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320, or you can visit redcedarland.com. We got to get to our next break. When we come back, spoke with the famous, what do we call him? The world-famous Cajun chef, Coach Lyles Lashley, head coach of Great Bend. Cross-country, track, and field in the middle of cross-country season right now, actually heading towards the end of cross-country season. We'll talk about that cross-country season, some of the players on his roster, and talk about the Southeast a little bit, since that's where we're both from. You're listening to Sports Day, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Community bankers should actually know.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Barton Community College has college classes that fit your life and your budget. With 5 flexible start dates, Barton Online is perfect for picking up a class or earning your associate's degree at less than half the cost of a university. Study anytime, from anywhere. Save time, save money. Start strong with Barton Online. Ready to take the next step? Visit online.bartonccc.edu and enroll today.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry now joined by Great Bend High School track and field and cross country head coach Lyles Lashley, a longtime friend of the program. Coach Lashley, thanks for coming back on. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Hey, I appreciate you having us. I hope everything's going good for you, especially getting all those the riffraff out of that in there, Webster and them.
Webby still likes to appear every now and then. He's still a part of this program, but not as much as he used to be, and I think that's how he likes it.
Yeah, he's a part-timer. I mean, just a part-timer. He likes to sit on the back of his patio and not do a whole lot and act like he mows the yard and does stuff like that, but he didn't do a whole lot.
Have you heard the talk of his new water cooler?
I have not. I don't even want to know about this. Good gosh, what do you say now?
His swamp cooler. He's got a swamp cooler he calls Nolan. And that sits out on the back porch with him.
Nice. Does it keep his beer cold too?
Oh, absolutely. That's what he says.
He's never been in the South then.
Yeah, that's right. We're two Southern guys on this Central Kansas sports talk show and ripping on the natives, I guess.
Absolutely. What about your Tigers this year? What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that they're going to have a new head coach pretty soon if it keeps going this way.
I'm just glad LSU has old Brian Kelly because he's a terrible coach, and I just want him to keep going like that. So I always grew up hating LSU, so it makes me happy to see them lose.
I have no hate for LSU, but I have zero love for Brian Kelly, so watching him lose big games is pretty funny.
Yes, I love it. I saw a couple of the fans were complaining this week, and I was like, hey, bring back old Les.
Oh,
what more could you want? And it was that game where I don't know whether they were playing. I don't know if they're playing Auburn or who was this clock management one, where he just totally blew it the last 30-something seconds, and he tried to spike the ball when they had 1 second left.
Yeah,
from getting the first down. And I was like, you can't spike it. And then the announcers are going crazy. It was great.
That was against Auburn. I was at that game. That was the loser goes home game. The feeling was whoever lost that game was getting fired the next day, and Les Miles did.
Yeah, he pretty much deserved it. And I was sad to see him leave because, like I said, he couldn't seem to win it when it counted, but except for the one time. But then I think he had most of Saban's players then, and then he just didn't seem to didn't care a whole much. I just want to get paid.
and then he came out this way, and that was a disaster.
Oh God! I remember he spoke at the clinic, at the coach's clinic, and he showed up and talked for about 20 minutes, and then said he had to go recruiting, and just left in the middle of a speech.
Yeah. I'm sure people though out this way are enjoying the SEC talk for sure.
Oh, I bet they hate it.
Coach, let's talk about your squad cross-country season. You're actually headed towards the end of the season. Let's talk about the meets you've had. You've had Great Bend, Olathe Twilight, Buhler, Larned, and then this past weekend, the Rimrock Farm Classic out in Lawrence. Tell us a little bit about your squad.
We're really young on both sides. The girls don't have any seniors. The guys have two, but most of our varsity consists of either sophomores on the boys' side, and then so a couple times we went to Olathe, and for some reason we were in the super division, and we probably shouldn't have been. They took a little butt kicking, but it was fine. It was nice to have them be able to compete at night and do all that great stuff. I mean, to have that twilight meet, and then our home meet was the first meet of the year, and I thought we competed well. Then after then it was late, then they moved to Buhler, which all our kids usually hate that course, but they competed really well. I was proud of them at Buhler. And then Rimrock was this weekend. KU dumped it, so Lawrence Free State took over it, and which is this meet's been going on for years and years and years, and that course has been there for probably since the 70s. It sounds like it might be the last every year that they have cross country on that course, which is a shame. I hate it, but and the kids love to run on it. But I'm just getting too old and fat where I can't get around that course too well to see everything. And I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack and to carry an AED around with me everywhere I go. But it definitely, it's nice. Some of those younger kids got to run on it before. If it does happen, it happens. But hopefully they'll get another chance in this season for state. But we had Bishop Carroll this weekend, which is always a good meet. You get to run against all the Wichita schools mainly, mix in a few others. But it's good to go see the different competition. And then we found out yesterday afternoon that we will host the region for the 7th straight year. So we're pretty excited about that, to get it on our home course again. We're just fortunate to have a great facility out there to be able to run on it.
Yeah, that is a really big deal. What all goes into making that decision as to who hosts what meets?
You just put in, for the region, now the WAC, it just rotates. Like this year we're in Liberal, and then so it just goes alphabetical. I don't even know the alphabet. Who's next? Maybe Garden. No, Dodge will have it next year. It'll rotate back around. And then, but for the region, everybody schools put in for the region. Some years, only 2 schools put in. Like last year in track, we were the only 5A school to put in for a region. They started just forcing schools to have them. And then, for cross country, I think there were 3 or 4 that put it in the West. And before, we usually host a smaller class, but we're not this year, so we're just doing 5A. So it'd be a nice little fun thing. We're just in there and out and move on.
Hey, you mentioned that KU kind of dumped this last meet for the Rimrock Farm Classic, knowing that next year they're not going to be hosting the state track and field meets as well. Is there a little bit of danger, do you think, in high school track and field right now?
Well, Wichita State hosts the state track meet, but the KU just has the KU relays, and I think there's more danger right now in college track and field. College track and field is, I think you're going to see soon a lot of programs dropping college track, unfortunately. I think with all the NIL money going elsewhere and this and that, and I think honestly you're going to see track and some of the other Olympic sports, your non-revenue sports, where they're going to unfortunately probably get dropped or the budget's going to get cut. It's a strange thing, and I find it really weird that if they think they weren't making money off this cross-country meet, there's no way they were making money on it, or they weren't making money on it. If you do the math, it's just unbelievable. And same thing with the KU relays. It just seems like that they had to be making money off these things, or that was very poor management if they weren't. To have 3/4 of the state high school coming in there and paying ungodly entry fees to get in there.
Let's get back to talking about your team. Especially on the girls' side, you look at the results, and 2 names keep popping up. This pair of freshmen, Decorah Schroeder and Sydney Stein. You keep seeing these names. Talk a little bit about those 2 youngsters.
Both of them were very good in middle school, especially in track. So we knew coming in that those 2 were going to be really good, and they've beaten some really, really good people this year at some of those bigger meets. I'm talking about some sub 11-minute 2-mile girls, and low 5-minute girls, and then I've been really impressed the way they do it, and and how well they compete at the meets. And then, they're just at an age where they're just learning how to train and learning how to do stuff. And, you really don't start kicking into your sophomore year. So we're excited to see what those two do coming up.
And on the boys' side, a name that we saw a lot for track and field this past year, and now on the cross-country team, Taven Stroop is kind of a consistent top finisher for you guys. Is he a senior this year, or is this his junior season?
He's a senior, yes.
Okay. So talk a little bit about what he's up to.
He's been a little up and down the first couple meets. He was struggling a little bit the first couple meets, just some mental things, and he's really, the last couple of weeks, has turned it back around. And just, I'm excited about to see what he does for the rest of the season. Like I said, he worked hard this summer, and you just want to see that hard work pay off.
And on Thursday, you've got your next meet that's taking place at Buren Academy. What are you expecting to see in the field?
Our next meet will be Bishop Carroll. We're not going to Buren.
Okay.
I'm not sure where that is on the schedule. Bishop Carroll will be our next, and then after Bishop Carroll, we take a week off, and then just to train, and then we come back and we go to WAC in Liberal, and then the following week we have regionals and then state, hopefully. So it's coming to an end quick.
How is the WAC looking this year?
The WAC, the Garden, of course, they're defending 6A state champions, and they did lose a little bit, but they had a ton in the cupboard. They had a bunch of JV guys that were actually really good. They're definitely by far the favorites. Dodge is really good this year too. Hopefully, we can give them a run for second, but it's going to be very tough on the boys' side. Girls is wide open. We're really thin on our numbers, so if we have one person that's not up to par that day, it's Dodge is going to be really right there, and they actually beat us this past weekend with us missing our number 4 girl due to an injury. But it should be a good little battle. And like I said, the girls' side's wide open.
Hey, Coach, thanks for taking the time today. Looking forward to talking to you again in the future. We need to get you back in the studio just to, shoot the bull about random stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to. Love to.
All right, fantastic. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, boss.
That is Coach Lyles Lashley joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to the world-famous Cajun Chef. I love that. I love using that as a title. Coach Lyles Lashley joining us here on Sports Day. Yeah, their season I don't think the results not what they wanted this year, but still they're out there. They're running hard. They're competing, and they're still getting some really impressive results, especially from some of their younger runners. So moving forward, I think there's a lot of promise in that program. So something to keep an eye on for sure. Sports Day brought to you by Equity Bank. There when you need them. Bank local, stay big with in-person banking and business banking. Visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and in Larned. Also brought to you by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison. Find your way to C&E Doors. All right, our last interview of the day. Earlier this afternoon, we had on Zach Bartle, the head coach of Great Bend High School tennis. And we spoke a little bit about the hot start that this team is off to. Had someone tell me, and I mentioned this in the interview, had at least one person tell me this is maybe the best season that Great Bend has ever had. And I gave that quote to Coach Bartle and the player that he brought with him, and they both said, yeah, maybe, if things keep going our way. But some other stuff has to go their way. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Sports Day here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, live from the Mayo Money Management Studio.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the Rec.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry now joined by some members of the Great Bend High School tennis team. Got head coach Zach Bartle and senior Mac Lindberg. Guys, thanks so much for taking the time. How are we doing today?
Good.
Good.
Doing good. Okay, so a very busy week for you guys last week. First of all, let's recap the season. First time you've been in the studio for us this year. A really, really successful season for you guys so far. 4 tournament wins right now.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good team placings this year. Like you said, the 4 tournament wins, maybe I'll mention them later, but we talked about that before. We got first place in the 2 home meets we had this year, and then Dodge City last week, or 2 weeks ago, and then Garden City last week. So it's been a lot of fun and a lot of success.
And against some really stiff competition as well. I know you guys have beaten out Larned at least once, and their program's really good. And obviously going on the road to meets hosted by other schools and winning on a hostile territory.
Yeah, I think Larned was a really good one. I played their ones player, and she's very good. That was a good match, and it was fun too. And then like Garden, they're also really good. And I played their ones and twos, and they're both really fun people to play.
Hey, Coach, I've had at least 1 or 2 people come up to me and say, you need to get the Great Bend tennis team on, because this is, maybe the best season that Great Bend's ever had in tennis. Is that something that you think you can subscribe to, or go ahead and give me your thoughts on that quote?
Well, I could answer that question better after Monday, I would say, at WAC. But in recent years, yeah, our team finishes are about as well as we've done. The Great Bend Tribune sports guy, Jim, asked me yesterday if he thought this was our best team, and I hadn't really thought about it, but top to bottom, we're really strong. We have good depth this year, and the girls have won WAC before, so that would kind of trump what we've done. But if we can pull that out, then we'll kind of in the conversation, I guess.
Who all will you be playing in the WAC team or WAC meets?
So we'll see the WAC tournament. We see all the WAC schools. There's 5 of us: Garden City, Dodge City, Hayes, and Liberal, and us. So it's a round robin, and we see everybody's. But it's divided up into 1s and 2s, singles and doubles. So we've seen almost all these players before, played them several times in a lot of situations. So we're pretty familiar with them. Kind of unfortunate we have to drive so far to play, but hopefully we can jump off the van and wake up and start out our first match strong.
Mac, you're one of the seniors on this team. Talk about your team, talk about your teammates, and what it's like being a leader of this group.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this season, especially like with the wins, obviously. We have a really good team this year. We mesh really good. The meets are fun. Practices are fun. We have a lot of fun overall, I would say.
Well, winning is fun, right? Whenever things are going well, it's a great time to be a part of a team.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Coach, talk about the roster that's around you, some of the older statesmen, I guess, of your team, and how they're performing right now.
Yeah, so we came into the season with not a ton of experience overall. Mac had been on varsity for almost 2 full years, and Paige had been on varsity for almost 2 full years. And then we only had one other player who'd had any varsity experience, and that was Beth Hammocky. So our number one doubles right now is a freshman that, we didn't know a whole lot about before the season, and then a sophomore transfer from Ellenwood. So that was really nice for them to come together. And, I think our team gets along really well. There's doubles teams sometimes are, at each other's throats is a strong word, but they sometimes, communication is so important in doubles. There was one meet where there's a little bit of tension in the doubles, and I talked to them, and just like that, they all worked at it and made an effort, and they really improved their communication, and the rest of the day went really well. So,
well, that's being part of a team sport, right? Is whenever something doesn't go right, you want to win. There's a level of intensity, and sometimes that boils over.
Yeah, and Mac could probably speak to this. She played doubles for 2 years, and this is her first year playing singles, so I'm sure that's a different. Some people prefer one or the other. I mean, I think it's kind of nice to have someone by your side to, you can depend on if maybe you're down a little bit or not playing so well. Maybe they'll hit some shots and, pull through. And when you're in singles, you got to do it all yourself. So.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I do miss the doubles aspect of having someone else just to cheer you up or just help you with a good shot when you need it, and not just relying on only yourself.
But you've been elevated. I mean, you're out there by yourself, and it's individual sports are so interesting to me because growing up playing team sports, and there's such a difference between being out there with somebody and being out there by yourself.
Yeah, for sure. There's aspects that are good and bad to both of them, I would say.
Hey, you guys had an extremely busy week over this past week. Talk about that week and where all you went and what the results were.
Monday, we went to McPherson, and it was a very long day. We were supposed to start at 10 and didn't start till 1:45 because of rain. And we didn't end up finishing. I played 4 matches, and I was getting ready to start my 5th. And then Thursday, we went to Salina South, and that was a really good meet. We got first, right? Oh, second. Just kidding. That was a good meet. And then Saturday, we went to Garden, and that's when we got first as a team.
And so you guys are off this week, and that off week coming at a really good time when, you have that super busy schedule. You've got WAC meets coming up next week. So right now it feels like the off week hitting at a perfect time for you guys.
I'd say so. Yeah. We used to have a meet this week, and that got moved for various reasons. But I gave the varsity girls off practice yesterday to kind of, recover from the long week and possibly kind of a reward for how well they did. But yeah, they could use a break, but now we're going to get back to it, and hopefully we're peaking at the right time. It's ideal. If you're playing your best tennis at the beginning of the year, it's not as good as when you're doing it when WAC and regionals comes up. So that's our goal, and we'll try to get them ready this week and get back into things and be ready for Monday.
We've already talked about the teams you'll be playing. Go ahead and preview those teams a little bit. We've got, like you said, WAC meets coming up. What have you seen from them? What are you expecting?
Okay. I think it's hard to say who the favorite is this year. Garden City's won it for I don't know how many years in a row, 9, 10 plus years in a row. They're not quite the level that they've been at, but they're definitely in the running. We're in the running. Liberal's got some good players. So we see these teams often enough that we're pretty familiar with them. Mac has played each Garden City singles player at least 2 times, and she's, I think, split with both of them. So a lot of our teams have seen WAC players and WAC teams, and, we win some, lose some. So, it could go a lot of different ways depending on how well we play on Monday. So if we play well, we'll be in really good shape for WAC.
And Mac, you're out there on the court. What's your expectation for yourself and for your team?
I would say, at least for me, I really want to win all my matches. That is definitely my main goal. The Garden City one is going to be the most challenging, but I've done it before, so I hope I can do it again. And if I try, I'm sure I can. And as a team, I'm sure we can too. Everyone else, they all give a lot of effort, so that's really good.
Awesome. Guys, thanks so much for coming in today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah.
You bet. Thank you.
That is Zach Bartle, the head coach of Great Bend High School Tennis, and Mac Lindberg, a senior member of the team, joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to Coach Bartle and Mac for coming in and talking a little bit of Great Bend High School tennis. That's going to be really fun to see. We'll definitely have them in next week. We'll talk about the results of the WAC tournament and, everything else that's happening with them. That's all the interviews we have today. Sports Day is brought to you by the Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community and the individual lives of their community members. And by Freedom Claims Management, let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. All right, we are counting down the minutes here. As soon as this show goes off at 1:30, we are going to shift you over to postseason baseball. Major League Baseball, wildcard round. Padres are playing the Cubs at 1:30. That's when the pregame show starts. We have a game underway right now. But we're going to preview the two matchups we'll have for you. We'll update you on the current matchup, and we'll let you know just about everything else that's happening tonight. We've got 4 playoff baseball games today. It's big time. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Get on the fast track to earn your national certification with Barton Community College's new Medical Lab Assistant program. In less than 1 year, you'll gain hands-on training to work in medical labs, clinics, and hospitals, delivering critical patient care. With flexible learning, including 100% online courses and lab hours at your local hospital, you can grow your career or start fresh. Healthcare needs skilled professionals like you. Enroll now at mla.bartoncccc.edu.
C&E Doors, this is Eddie.
Papa, are you ready to get back to work?
Back to work? But I've been here the whole time.
But I'm back in school. You're gonna have to run the shop without me.
It will be hard without you, but people know that we provide the best service no matter the time of the year.
You could always ask me, Mom, for more help.
Who do you think is really running this place?
Garage door sales, service, and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Perfectionism. Are you perfect? Nobody is, but many strive way too hard in pursuit. Dr. Gary Probst with thoughts about giving yourself some grace in a moment. First, you have an old car or truck sitting around, maybe paying insurance on it, not even using it. Well, donate it to the United Breast Cancer Foundation. They'll pick up that car and give you a tax receipt. And why not help a nonprofit that is involved in prevention of one of the most prevalent forms of cancer? Call for information. 800-847-9607. Turn that old car or truck into something good. 800-847-9607. Why not donate today? 800-847-9607. American novelist John Updike said that perfectionism is the enemy of creation, as extreme self-solitude is the enemy of well-being. Trying to be perfect is like spinning your wheels in the proverbial mud. It's like sharpening a knife until there's no blade left. Endless ruminations, self-admonishment, needless worry create anxiety that keeps people in a hamster wheel of despair and doubt. Perfectionism is merely seeking approval from others. We feel we cannot be accepted if we are not perfect, but for humans, there is no perfect, and there never will be. Sometimes good enough really is good enough. Confucius said, "It is better to accept a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without them."
Welcome back. Final couple of minutes of Sports Day here, 5 minutes or so, and that means we get to discuss the wild card round of Major League Baseball, which is already underway. Earlier today, the Tigers and the Guardians in a gotta-have-it wild card series, I think, for both teams, well, especially for the Tigers, with the way they collapsed down the stretch. I will be curious to see if they can pull this off. They were leading the Guardians. They took the lead in the top of the first inning and the Guardians have just tied it up. The Tigers got an RBI from Spencer Torkelson. He drove in, let me see, who did he drive in? He drove in Kerry Carpenter. That was, again, the top of the first inning. They have led since then, but just now in the bottom of the fourth, it was Gabriel Arias driving home Angel Martinez to tie that game out 1. So that's underway right now. In approximately 5 minutes, I'm going to go off the air, and we're going to start the pregame for Padres at Cubs in the NL wildcard. That matchup is going to be interesting. Nick Pivetta will face off against Matthew Boyd. Pivetta with a 2.87 ERA and about 30 starts this year. Boyd with a 3.21 ERA and 31 starts this year. That's going to be a fun game. Later tonight, in just the most hatred you've ever seen, and we'll also be airing this game so you can hear it right here on our airwaves as soon as Padres and Cubs goes off the air. We will have the Yankees playing the Red Sox. This pitching matchup is going to be awesome. Max Fried will go for the Yankees. Garrett Crochet will go for the Red Sox. Both of these guys with ERAs under, well, let me see. Yeah, Max Fried doesn't list Max Fried's ERA. It's under 3. It's around 3, I'm sure. Crochet, he comes over. He has a 2.59 ERA. So two lefties, probably the two best left-handed pitchers in Major League Baseball, I would guess. No one better comes to mind right now. I'm still a big Max Fried fan. Yes, he left the Braves. The Braves let him go, and that made me more mad at the Braves than it did at Max Fried. He's getting paid. He's still a really good player. He's going to be a good player for a long time. And I'm really looking forward to watching this matchup because I think this game may last like 2 hours. That's how good these two pitchers are. You may see just not a whole lot of runs scored tonight in this first round. But it's Yankees and Red Sox. Crazy stuff happens all the time. Again, Padres at Cubs. That's going to start as soon as I go off the air here in about 3 minutes. And once that game is over, right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, we're going to have that Boston at Yankees. Game 1. And we'll be playing the wild card. We'll be playing Major League Baseball playoffs all throughout the week, or all throughout the run of the playoffs here. So if you're just a person who likes to listen to baseball on the radio, I certainly am. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Those are going to appear right here on our airwaves. Later on tonight, the first pitch happening around 8 o'clock. The Reds are visiting the Dodgers. Have we announced starters for this series yet? Let me go back to Google here. I didn't pull that one up. Reds at Dodgers starters. Do we know who's going to be doing this? It is probably going to be, well, it's definitely going to be Hunter Green for the Reds. That makes sense. Hunter Green, the dude who just throws harder than anybody. That's crazy. That's going to be crazy. He's had a better year than I thought. He's got a 2.76 ERA. He'll be going up against Blake Snell with a 2.35. I don't think either of those guys has had the number of starts that their respective teams wanted, but certainly both incredibly capable pitchers. That game will be on ESPN at 8. We will not be airing that game on our stations. But again, our music's going to kick on here in about 40 seconds. As soon as I go off the air, we'll have Padres at Cubs pregame. As soon as that game goes off the air, we'll have Yankees at Red Sox. And then later on tonight, Cubs at Dodgers. Happening right now. You can go and watch playoff baseball right this second if you're so inclined. It's still 1-1. Dodgers at Guardians in the AL wildcard. This is going to be a really fun postseason. I'm looking forward to it. Love postseason baseball. It's the best kind of baseball. Hey, big thanks to Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Big thanks to Great Bend High School cross-country coach Lyles Lashley. And big thanks to Great Bend High School tennis coach Zachary Bartle for joining me here on today's episode of Sports Day. This was a lot of fun, loaded episode. We're going to have a loaded episode again tomorrow. Stick around for it. Same time, same place, same station. Big thanks to Landon Winkler for running the cameras, running our video feed. Stick around. We've got Major League Baseball playoffs coming up next.